What if a movie fails twice? First, it struggles at the box office. Then, the studio pins its hopes on a digital release, only for that strategy to stumble as well. That's exactly the debate surrounding Supergirl. And now, the situation appears to be creating even more pressure behind the scenes at Warner Brothers. Reports of weak digital performance have reignited criticism of the film, while top executives continue defending the project and urging fans not to judge it too quickly. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. Warner Brothers CEO David Zaslav is now pushing back against the growing backlash, arguing that digital success can't be measured after just a few days. At the same time, critics believe the numbers are already painting a very different picture. So, is Supergirl still capable of turning things around, or is this becoming another major setback for James Gunn's new DC universe? Before we break it all down, if you enjoy honest Hollywood coverage, box office updates, and the biggest DC and Marvel stories every week, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest videos. Welcome back, everyone. As of July 28th, the conversation surrounding Supergirl has entered another critical stage. After weeks of debate over its disappointing theatrical performance, attention has now shifted toward the movie's digital release. And according to many online discussions, that rollout is generating just as much controversy as the box office did. Over the past several days, reports focusing on digital pre-orders and early sales have fueled a new wave of criticism. While Warner Brothers has not publicly released detailed sales figures, many commentators are arguing that the film has yet to show the kind of rebound that supporters expected after its theatrical run came to an end. That has sparked an even bigger question across the entertainment industry. If the movie struggles to build momentum digitally, could Warner Brothers decide to move up its streaming release in an effort to reach a larger audience sooner? The possibility has become a major topic of discussion, especially among fans following the future of James Gunn's DC universe. At the center of that conversation are several of the biggest names connected to the project. James Gunn has continued defending the film. Lead actress Millie Alcock has addressed criticism surrounding her performance. Writer Anna Nogueira has also spoken publicly about the backlash. And now Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav is joining that growing list as pressure surrounding the film continues to build. For months, the message from the studio has remained largely the same. The argument has been that Supergirl's success shouldn't be judged solely by its theatrical earnings. Studio leadership has repeatedly suggested that premium digital sales, home viewing, and eventually streaming could help the film recover much of the ground it lost during its box office run. However, many critics believe those expectations are becoming increasingly difficult to defend. Instead of seeing signs of a major comeback, online discussion has focused on what many describe as continued weak audience interest. Whether that perception ultimately proves accurate remains to be seen, but it's clear that the conversation surrounding the movie has shifted from theaters to digital platforms. And that's exactly why David Zaslav has now stepped forward with a new public defense of both the film and Warner Brothers' overall strategy. According to Zaslav, many people are rushing to conclusions far too quickly. He argues that judging a digital release after only a short period creates a misleading picture of its long-term performance and ignores how modern studios recover revenue across multiple distribution platforms. But that's only the beginning, because the comments that followed have created an entirely new debate about whether Warner Brothers is simply asking audiences for patience or trying to push back against a growing narrative that the film continues to struggle. According to David Zaslav, much of the online conversation surrounding Supergirl has become driven by assumptions rather than verified financial information. He argued that while people are free to criticize the film's theatrical performance, declaring its digital release a failure only days after launch ignores how digital distribution actually works. In his view, early reactions don't necessarily reflect the complete financial picture, and studios often evaluate digital performance over a much longer period. Zaslav emphasized that premium digital releases can play a significant role in helping a film recover after a disappointing theatrical run. Rather than treating the first few days as the final verdict, he suggested that the coming weeks will provide a much clearer indication of how audiences ultimately respond to the movie. He also pointed to another factor that, in his opinion, affected the film's reception. Zaslav claimed the project faced an unusually intense wave of online criticism, including personal attacks directed toward Millie Alcock. He argued that social media now has enormous influence over how long movies remain successful in theaters, making it increasingly difficult for major releases to overcome negative online momentum once public perception begins shifting. Because of that, he urged critics, entertainment publications, and fans to avoid drawing immediate conclusions about the movie's financial performance. Instead, he encouraged audiences to let the digital release play out before deciding whether the strategy has succeeded or failed, arguing that audience behavior can change quickly over the course of several days or even weeks. He also suggested that the studio intends to carefully evaluate the digital performance before making decisions regarding the movie's streaming rollout. Now, this is where many commentators completely disagree with Warner Brothers' position. Critics argue that while digital sales certainly matter, the early signs being discussed online have not inspired much confidence. Some have even compared the reported digital interest in Supergirl with previous DC releases, suggesting the film has struggled to generate the same level of excitement despite Warner Brothers' efforts to reposition it for home audiences. Whether those comparisons accurately reflect overall performance remains open to debate, but they have fueled criticism that the studio continues defending the film instead of acknowledging why so many viewers chose not to support it during its theatrical run. Another statement from Zaslav also attracted attention. He praised James Gunn's vision for the DC universe and described Supergirl as a film centered around a strong female superhero, arguing that projects like this deserve more recognition. According to him, the movie represents an important step forward for the franchise by placing a female hero at the center of the story and expanding the direction of the new DC universe. However, that argument immediately sparked pushback online. Many viewers pointed out that DC had already delivered successful female-led superhero films in the past, particularly the first Wonder Woman, which earned both strong audience support and critical praise. Because of that, some questioned whether framing Supergirl as something audiences had never really had before overlooked earlier successes within the franchise, and that's where the debate became even more divided. Supporters of the movie argue that Supergirl deserves to be judged on its own merits rather than compared to previous DC films. Meanwhile, critics believe Warner Brothers continues focusing on external explanations instead of addressing the storytelling decisions that many viewers have criticized since opening weekend. But Zaslav wasn't finished. His final comments shifted the conversation toward the future of the DC universe, and specifically toward Kara Zor-El's role in the next major chapter. Zaslav also argued that audiences shouldn't let online negativity stop them from giving Supergirl a chance. He encouraged people who skipped the theatrical release to watch the film digitally, saying it plays an important role in the future of the DC universe. According to him, Kara Zor-El's story doesn't end with this movie. He believes her character will become even more important in Man of Tomorrow, making Supergirl essential viewing for fans who want to understand where James Gunn's DC universe is heading next. He also repeated the studio's position that Kara remains a strong and positive role model, despite the criticism surrounding the film. However, not everyone agrees with that assessment. Many fans have questioned why Warner Brothers continues emphasizing Kara's future importance instead of focusing on why Supergirl struggled to connect with audiences in the first place. Another topic fueling discussion is the repeated claim that Kara could be portrayed as even more powerful than Superman in Man of Tomorrow. Similar comments have already been made by members of the creative team, and they've generated mixed reactions among DC fans. Some viewers are excited by the idea, while others believe the studio is putting too much attention on power scaling instead of strong storytelling. There's also renewed discussion surrounding Anna Nogueira, who remains attached to future DC projects. Despite the criticism aimed at Supergirl, she's still expected to have involvement with upcoming films, including Wonder Woman, which has left many fans questioning the studio's long-term strategy. Whether Warner Brothers is standing by its creative team out of confidence or simply refusing to change course, that's becoming one of the biggest debates surrounding the new DC universe. Now attention turns to the next phase. If the digital release fails to generate stronger momentum, all eyes will shift to streaming. Since streaming is included with an existing subscription, more people may be willing to try the movie. But the real question isn't how many people press play, it's how many actually finish it. That will likely become one of the biggest indicators of whether Supergirl can rebuild its reputation or if the criticism surrounding the film continues into the next chapter of James Gunn's DC universe. So now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Supergirl still has a chance to recover through streaming, or has the audience already made up its mind? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to The Woke Watch, and turn on notifications for more Hollywood updates, DC news, and box office coverage. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.